It's the Full Force News Burst, proudly brought to you by Battle Action Force, the Treasury editions. I am your host, Christopher McLeod, AKA Diagnostic 80. Now let's get into the news. Hello and welcome to the Full Force News Burst. I know, bit of news, isn't it? A bit of leaks, bit of leaks left, right and centre. So yeah, lots of cool stuff to talk about tonight. The classified ramp rats have shown up. Amazing. So we'll have all the info for that, all the images as well as they've come flooding in. So that'd be interesting to get stuck into. Obviously, we've got an update on the listings, obviously, and I think we all know where that's going. I believe it's already been mentioned elsewhere and everything, but obviously, yeah, we'll get to that. We'll get to that. But I think that's the probably the worst kept secret of this particular episode until the end of the episode, as to what the new listings look like. But yes, we have another leak that has come courtesy of overseas and pre-sales. So yeah, a lot of people saying they didn't see these coming. They were keeping this under wraps until today because we had no clue. We still didn't know who Tara was. Oh, there you go. There's the secret. It's not a secret. We still didn't know what that was, that listing, and then here we are with a shout out to Bobby B, who made me aware of the situation to start with. So massive shout out to Bobby B's Battlegrounds, via Bretley Brett on Instagram. So shout out to those two for first bringing that to my attention. Shout out to basically multiple people who are sending me links, here are more images, etc. Thank you very much to everyone who sent links and images and all that kind of good stuff. And yes, finally patched together the full amount of images. So we'll be looking through those today as well. So yes, should we just get stuck in? Let's get stuck into it. And we'll start off with a little bit of history, I would say, behind the ramp rat. Yeah, so the classified ramp rats have not just appeared out of nowhere. Cast your minds back to the year of 20 of the 21. Was it 2021? I can't remember when that Haslab was. It might have been 2020. When was that? I can't even remember when that Haslab kicked off, but the Sky Striker Haslab. Let's just say in the early 2020s, right? During that particular campaign, there were different tiers, obviously, as well, not other than the salty ones that were coming out of our faces, but there were multiple tiers for that particular run of that particular campaign. And during the sort of Cobra takeover period, maybe also to probably give it a little bit of a bump as well in the numbers, they revealed that Cobra were taking over. There were going to be like some Cobra livery that you could put on your Sky Striker to make it a Cobra vehicle. And it was going to come with the Mickey Mouse Cobra Commander, this Cobra Trooper, and a ramp rat, which looked pretty cool. And we got the ramp rat. We did get this particular group of figures with the Sky Striker. What we didn't get was the last tier, the ketchup and mustard ground crew for the Sky Striker. So we got the ramp rat, the Cobra ramp rat, but we didn't get these two particular homies. And obviously, this was quite funny because the whole fandom basically started calling them ketchup and mustard because of the red and the yellow. In actual fact, the ramp rat is its own thing and has a red secondary. So that's what this is what the classified version's really taking after. But obviously, the yellow option is giving a little bit of mustard here as well. So it's almost like a little bit of both sort of intertwined together. And we get this, the classified ramp rats 2-pack with multiple accessories and what looks to be some sort of like weapons crate thing. It's pretty cool. I'm not going to lie. I know it's a box. It's just a box, though, isn't it? But it's obviously some really cool detailing on it. And, like, again, weapons cratey. And we'll look at the images for that as well. And again, adding to sort of like diorama pieces. And again, this will go nicely, I think, with some modular fortifications, the Rattler itself, and all of those kind of like particular figures for the Rattler, the Baroness, the Gunner, Wild Weasel. These lads, couple of sets of these should do it. Should get you some nice like ground crew sort of like stuff going on around your Rattler, which again I think is going to be amazing for kind of displays and what have you. I still have this idea of having a kind of separate Cobra airfield, that is so I can really go to towns like diorama, build something really cool, and have my Rattler sort of like maybe coming down to land with all of the the figures around like modular fortifications and stuff like that. I don't know. I think it's really awesome. Um, a tad out of date, says Chris G. Well, it's never really out of date, is it? Because it's still going to be worth using with your Rattler displays and the Rattler in general. So I don't think there's. I mean, could it have come sooner? Sure, but I don't think just because it comes a bit later, following the Rattler itself, I don't necessarily think that's a bad thing. Um, for me, it's just enhancing what you have always. So, like in terms of time periods when it comes out, if it came out 10 years later, then I would agree with you. I think, yeah, then let's face it, technology would have improved. The figures probably would be slightly different, and they wouldn't necessarily make sense with the old stuff. But I think in this particular scenario, it's not too much of a distance away. Um, if the Rattler wasn't big enough, now you need space for some giant crates, says Hits Me UK, and also says I will have the snow repaints. Oh yeah, because yeah, we'll see this again, won't we? We'll no doubt see this again. I don't think it was delayed, Stan. I don't think it was delayed. I think they just did it in this particular, round of budget. Maybe it might have been cut in development before. It could be all sorts of different things, but I don't think it's too much of a I don't think it's that bad that it's a bit later than the Rattler. Like, again, like, does everything have to come out at the same time? I don't think so. I think you can have Tiger Force figures coming out even though we had Outback first, right? That's crazy to me. Was he the first Tiger Force figure for classified? Think he might have been. In any case, just because you have stuff that happens earlier in the line, doesn't mean you can't have it again. Like people are always saying things like, "Oh, I want like a 788 this and a 788 that." And now, of course, we're getting another 788 edition with the stealth pod. So that again is much later than the Hiss tank. But I didn't see anyone sort of talk about that as like a late in the game, too late for this sort of situation. Do you know what I mean? So I kind of, for me, this is better late than never, says Grizzlehorn. I kind of agree with that one. And also, I'm just not seeing it as like it's late. I'm just seeing it as cool, additional, But again, that's just me. Well, they got me again, says Jeremy. Is this a male and female figure 2-pack? No, it's two males. My Rattler is on the flight stand looking like it's in flight. These won't make since in my other Cobra displays, says Derek. Can't have any jungle stuff because Recondo came out a while ago, says Paul. Sort of like similar. I really don't see a problem necessarily with this. Like I would take if they do like because again, I think if we're getting this for Cobra, it would only make sense if we got like a classic ketchup and mustard classified upgrade for the ones that never made it in the O-ring. And who knows, maybe they could come out in some way, shape, or form elsewhere. Maybe Super 7 could pick up that slack and bring out ketchup and mustard in the future. Who knows? But I would love that for classified Dragonfly. And I wouldn't be complaining if we got a 2-pack of ground crew for the Dragonfly. I'd be well up for that. Anyway, so yeah, this is one image. We don't actually know. I believe it's Pulse, Stanley. I'm not sure if I imagine it would be Pulse exclusive. I don't think we just haven't got the information yet for this one. And like I said, Tara didn't have a. If you look at the listings that we had, there was a question mark over the format of what the Tara listing was. So I don't know, but I would assume Pulse exclusive. Yeah, I would assume Pulse for this one. But who knows? We'll have to wait and see, won't we? I think all the other sort of like you know, what do you call them? Accompanying sort of sets. I think they were all Pulse exclusives, weren't they? And there's a lot to this one. So you get the 2 figures, a lot of gear, like the Saw Viper backpack, machine gun, the saw itself, and the what's it called? The ammo belt. And then you get 2 of the kind of like wavy wand things. Although I'm telling you now, I think I'd have preferred them in like that neon green, that this color. I'd have preferred them in that color. I don't know why. I don't know why I prefer this neon green to the orange color that, or red color that we've got. It's orange, isn't it? I think on this one. So yeah, I would say, yeah. So there's a little bit of reuse in terms of the accessories. I love the helmets they've got, by the way. I know that I'm going to say they're reused, but I can't exactly put my finger on what helmets they are. Are they the gunner helmets? I can't tell because they have like proper pilot helmets, don't they? Yes, one guy's bald, absolutely. But yeah, again, yeah, fun. And then these little secondaries, the red and the yellow one, to separate the 2 figures. And I definitely think I'm going to have some fun getting a few of these and then moving the heads around so that you don't have literally the same looking dude on on the same one. Although there is a red face mask on one guy and a black. And is that blue or black on the other one? I haven't looked at these images properly enough, and I can't see because I've got a bright light in my eyes as I look at these. Both helmets are new, says Jeremy. Fantastic. So in that case, love that. I love that we've got some new helmets. So the new helmet and the giant crate and the wands are new, aren't they? And everything else is sort of oh, and that strap as well for the crate. Oh, that's going to be so dope. Is that going to be hanging from like the Rattler, or like that? It's going to be a hanging scenario, right? Like lock it into the little ports, hook the little hook on like a crane or a or like the bottom of the Rattler. That's pretty dope. That's pretty dope. Hunter says, why on earth do ground crew come with an underslung belt fed machine gun? That would have been my question as well, actually. As I was talking about the fact they're reusing the Saw Viper the weapons and stuff, I'm kind of thinking also heavy weapons ground crew. It's a new one, isn't it? They really are protecting the garage, protecting the hangar. The thigh pads are new too. They look like tunnel rats, but have loops for the wands. That's cool. A nice bit of detail there, Jeremy. I have not studied this at all. And even if I had done, I will add, I don't think I'd have picked up on all of these new elements. I'd have just been like, they must be reused. They must be reused. Anyway, love the crate. Yes, we'll get to the crate in a second, Neo, because we've got loads of images for these. Not only have we got the white background sort of, promo images, but we've also got the diorama promo images, which is amazing. So let's have a look at those. Now we need an airfield control tower. Oh, Joe. Oh, yes. That's a great shout. That is a great shout. So let's move through these. Here they are. One's got a saw, a little mini chainsaw, and the other one's like, what's he wielding? A couple of wands. I'll take Sorry McSorison in that fight, please and thank you. Yeah, looks like a weapon crate to be transported by a cargo plane. Indeed, Luke. Exactly. I love that thought of like having like the little kind of like connected part on the bottom of like the Rattler or something would be so cool. All I see is a Joe redeco for the Dragonfly, says 610. Oh, you mean the crate? Because that would be cool. I'm thinking Wild Bill going to have to hijack that crate with the Dragonfly, says Mr. Magda. Indeed. Low light, lower pant legs? Question mark, says Stan. Maybe. I'm the worst person to ask that question, Stan. I love G.I. Joe and I love the classified line. Could I pick out parts given the parts in the first place? Still probably no. I'm terrible at it. Cheers, Chris. You took me away from watching Moonraker for this. Sorry, Steps Toys. Aspid coming to pick up crate, says Paul. That would be unreal. If they did an Aspid for the Haslab, I might cry. Jeremy says, yes, low light legs. Thank you, Jeremy. Can you just be my you can just be my parts admin in the chat there for any questions about parts. Thank you very much. Cheers. And then here's a shot from the back, just in case you wanted to see their tushes, which who doesn't, right? I like the fact they've got these new patch decos. Well, I'm said the wrong word there, didn't I? Patches. I wonder if this. I'm just thinking about the patches here. Could these have been like a tier, and they kind of for costing they cut it out? Possibility. I might have to ask that question in the future. Yeah. So it's sort of like this is the Cobra ketchup and mustard, I must add, because the ketchup and mustard that didn't make it in the Haslab for the Sky Striker were two GI Joe Sky Striker Ground Crew, which I still think would be freaking awesome for Classified to do for the Dragonfly. I think that would be amazing. This is evil ketchup and mustard. So Dijon and catsup. Steps Toys, I finished that off for you, but I don't even know if that's a thing, if that makes sense. The Dragonfly winch could carry the crate, steal it from Cobra, says Jeremy. Indeed, yes. A lot of people talking about that, actually. I think we can probably expect to see that crate re-emerge again. Anyway, box is pretty phenomenal, isn't it? Keegan says, just joining. When was this announced? Not announced, leaked. So pre-sales have gone up overseas, and therefore certain places have got images, and they have obviously found their way to the mainland here. They found their way here, and yeah, we're looking at them now. So this is all leaked. The expected release officially is in April, and I think we'll probably see an official, what do you call it, and a kind of official announcement on this a little bit sooner. So like, you know, before April kicks off, maybe even this or next week, who knows. The fact that we've got pre-order promo images makes me think that they were probably going to drop these very soon, if not tomorrow. That would kind of make some sense. But yes, any guess on internal code name? Oh yeah, we've already done that, Paul. You'll find out at the end. If you watch all the way to the end for the listings, I will reveal that. And also, you can just check yourself, because if you zoom in on this image, it tells you the G number under the 4+. Yes, Jason, basically. Yes, I've already said that like multiple times. Kind of let it out the bag to ruin the surprise at the end. But I think everyone knows that already anyway. But if you zoom in on the G number, bottom right-hand corner of this box, you can clearly see it is the same number as a certain listing on our listings, which we will be looking at later. Now, sorry, the main box. Love the artwork. Very much in love with that artwork. Now, an image was posted prior, wasn't it, of this box, and it was obviously a bit crushed. It was very pixelated. It wasn't clean. It wasn't clear. It wasn't in control. You'll get that if you get the reference. But it's still. I was looking at it and I'm like, I was looking for all of these sort of AI, you know, fake sort of signposts, and it just didn't have them. Even though the text was really pixelated and hard to read, you could still see that it was clearly the correct text. So I was like, this is legit. This is legit. And then obviously the images started flowing afterwards, and yeah, 100%. Could you repost these images? Sure, they're all over our socials, dude. Go check out our Facebook page. They're all posted there. Facebook and Instagram. You can absolutely repost them. Yes, bud. They're not mine. They're out there doing the rounds. JAL52558 says these look good. What is Hasbro's reasoning that a classified Sky Striker isn't in the works? I don't think all they've said is that it would be massive, but I don't think it's off the table. I just think the table's going to have to be huge. It would obviously have to be bigger than the Rattler, just for the kind of the design of it, the 2-seater situation. But I don't think it's beyond the realms of possibility. I just think it's massive. I don't think, like I said, I don't think it's not in the works. I think they've done a lot of development, I think, in all of those sort of things, even if it's just a cost to cost out how much it would actually be. Delta, why is the box so big? Is there something underneath the cardboard area? Yeah. Did you just join? It is this giant crate, which we're going to look at in a second in all of the promo images. What's the obsession with the ketchup and mustard color scheme? It looks silly in my opinion, says Venom. I think it's just based on ground crew colors, basically. I don't think it's an obsession, more of a, they did it that one time and then they're just kind of reusing it again. I wouldn't say it's necessarily an obsession. I think it's more of a fan obsession, calling it ketchup and mustard than anything else. We'll be swapping heads out with other troopers, says Mr. Mad Gus. Chili jam and yellow sauce, says Jason. I like that one. Anyway, the artwork looks phenomenal. Lots of sky strikers. It's confirmed. Lots of rattlers flying around in the background with the old kind of, it's very much that sort of old school propaganda poster style with the World War II sort of air raid lights and everything. And then obviously explosions going on in the background. They're obviously getting hit and hammered. There's some guys parachuting. There's a bunch of rattlers flying over. The two ground crew are just going, trying to, stay safe while they get absolutely pummeled by, ordnance. Luke says, I prefer the Conquest X30 than the Sky Striker for Haslab. Yeah, Conquest X30 would be dope. Grizzlehorn says, yes, propaganda. Yeah, it does look a bit, it's got that propaganda vibe, hasn't it? But then all of the sort of Rattler-related stuff had that propaganda vibe, didn't it? They even did posters, didn't they, with the Baroness, Destro, Cobra Commander, that were very propaganda-like. I really like those, actually. Your ground crew wear bright colors, so they're, get ready for this, easily visible. That's correct. Red designates ordnance weapons. Yellow is aircraft control and direction. Thank you, Pop Cult Frenzy, for that explanation. Always nice to know there's a little bit more info back there as to why these things are done or chosen. I was trying to figure out how to describe it, says Grizzlehorn. Yeah, it's definitely got propaganda vibes, the artwork. I love it very much. Anyway, look, I'm really into this set. If anything, I'm a bit of a sucker, even though, like, again, and then you see actually on the back, you see how the crate actually separates and opens, which is pretty dope. So the top bit is the biggest bit, and then the bottom bit is like a little smaller kind of crate thing. And I think we'll see the promo images where they're looking in the crate with weapons in it, which is pretty cool. Yep, Cobra ramp rats, there you go, and all their gear that they come with. I like that they've basically just attributed all of the gear to that one guy on the left, and then he just gets that on the right. Although I say just that, he has got the Saw Viper machine gun, and funnily enough, not the Saw Viper backpack or ammo belt. How does that work? He gets the machine gun, but not the backpack or the ammo belt. What? Anyway, that's funny to me. When does it get released? April, Crimson Cobra Commander. We believe April the 1st, but we'll have to... That's just based on the information that came out of that initial pre-sale information. Venom says, I stand corrected. Thanks, guys. I thought it was cartoon inspired. Good to know that the team did their research as always. Lol. Yeah, indeed. Well, not always, says Paul. That's funny. What are the other colors for our customizers? What are the other colors? Oh, sorry, you're in a conversation elsewhere. My apologies. Those are crates they're dropping with the parachutes. That would be cool if it came with a parachute just for pics, says Michelle. Oh, yeah, I should have zoomed in on that, shouldn't I? Let's zoom in on that. Are they just the crates parachuting down? Because that makes sense for multiple reasons. If not, yeah, they're crates, 100%. Yeah, I see now. From the image I was looking at from a distance, obviously I just saw the parachutes, but yes, they are the crates being dropped down on parachutes. I guess you can kind of technically utilize a parachute with the crate strap, can't you? Because it looks like it's actually a 3-strap scenario. So obviously it connects to 3 points of the crate, and then maybe you can attach a parachute to it, because we do have one with the what's his name? I forget his name already. Halo jumper. But it'd have been nice to get one in this pack, wouldn't it? That would have been really cool. Is Flash in the crate? We are never getting Flash. It's me. That's amazing. Is it an exclusive? We don't know yet, but I'm assuming it's a Pulse exclusive until we're told otherwise. we're assuming it's Pulse exclusive. No mayo or relish, says Carlos. No, that's disgusting. I'm just kidding. A forklift for the crate would be that would be nice, Johnny. Hot damn. A G.I. Joe forklift would be freaking awesome. Chris, did I not see the Saw Viper backpack in the promo pics you posted? Yes, they're in there. It's on the back of this box as well. I was just saying that what they've done is they've attributed the weapons and the gear to each figure on the back of the box. If you look at the bottom of the box, there's like a little line that denotes this is the stuff that comes with this guy and this is the stuff that comes with that guy. But for some reason, they've attributed the backpack and the ammo belt of the Saw Viper to one guy and the weapon, the actual machine gun and the saw to the other. And I find that funny because it's like you've got this massive weapon, but you can only use it as a glorified chainsaw, while your mate has just a like an ammo belt hanging from his backpack. Right, enough of that. Enough of all that. Let's get into the promos. Look at this. Now we're talking. So we've got the strap actually attached to the bottom here and hooking it up to, is that like another vehicle? It's attaching it to like a Stinger or something, which is interesting. So is that what that's for? I don't know. I just assumed it was like like a 3-point kind of connectivity so that you could strap it to something and then carry it away sort of thing. I guess you still can, but seeing this image here is kind of like made me go, oh, interesting. Yeah, he's hooking it up to the back of I think it's a Stinger, isn't it? Stinger thingamabob, sticky outy piece, tow bar. Damn, the promo images always sell these, says Paul. I agree. Aaron says, dragging the crate on the tarmac, kicking up sparks, lighting jet fuel. I know. That's what it would be doing, wouldn't it? It'd just be like an absolute... Don't do that, Mustard. I nearly called him Ketchup. Don't do that, Mustard. Colonel Mustard. I wonder if that's Colonel Mustard. Next image is a Stinger with its bumper ripped off, says Hits Me. Yes, indeed. I do love, again, I love this world building stuff, though. It's so good. A little sandbags scenario as well, so you can like incorporate the other dio pieces we have with the modular fortifications. Lovely stuff. Destro says the red guy is wearing the backpack belt and holding the weapon. Oh yeah, totally. My joke was the fact that the box is telling you what stuff goes with who, but it separates the backpack and the machine gun. You can obviously use it however you want, but my amusement came at looking at the back of the box and it telling you, no, this guy gets this and that guy gets that. That's all that was about. You can obviously, the weapons still come in the same box, Kitty said. So you can 100%, use whoever you want with whatever weapon you want. I'm going to have to get a couple of these crates, guys. They're pretty dope looking. Why is the guy who doesn't come with the strap hooking the strap to a vehicle? Indeed, Saint Brutus. Indeed. That was our confusion as well. It has the same connection as the fortification, says Crimson Cobra Commander. Brilliant. So there's going to be some definite sort of like, some like compatibility. It's what we like to see. Like this shot here of them just kind of poking around the corners. This is a nice shot. I love the hangar sort of vibes. I love the fact that Rattler was never getting in that hangar, by the way. Like, ever. Like, the wing's too tall, mate. I don't even know how it was in there in the first place. I can just imagine if you zoom out, which is this huge cut through the roof where the wings have just carved a great big hole in the hangar. But yeah, love it though. I love these pictures. They breathe so much life into the figures and the vehicle itself. Just love it. Brilliant stuff. And I haven't checked every single detail of every image background either, by the way, guys. So there could be some like hidden cheeky Easter egg, a cheester egg, that I'm not seeing. But he desperately, there's another promo image in a second where Mr. Yellow Pants is trying to connect this crate to the back of the Stinger for some reason, and I still don't know why. I need to get some like confirmation on that. Man, these pictures are dope. I'm just trying to find that one I'm looking at this exact moment in time. Where is you? There you is. Yeah, this is nice as well. I'm looking in the background just to see if there's any sort of hint at a cheeky something in the background. There is a rattler in the back of this one. 2 rattlers, actually, yeah, in the sky. Is that a rattler? Yeah, it's a rattler. It's a snake armor, guys. There's a snake armor there. Blue snake armor back there, says Paul. Brilliant. Brilliant. You can pivot the rattler's wings with them folded, says Huntress. Pivot the rattler's wings with them folded. How do you mean? I'm confused. I thought you can only do that with them. Because my point being on that last one is that the roof's too short for those wings to be up like that. Do you know what I mean? That was my point. I don't know. Do you mean like pivot down? That's really cool if you can. So if they fold up and do that, then there you go. If that is the case, I didn't know that because I haven't actually I've put the wings up, but I haven't dropped them once they've been up. It can pivot back 90 degrees. Nice. Oh, then it can get in there. And then obviously they got out of the hangar and they popped the wings up. So there you go. That is the explanation, and I can deal with that. I'm down for that. Anyway, here's a great shot of the crate filled with sort of like sawdust and weapons, like proper trope maneuvers right here. I like it. Proper crate of weapons trope. Is anyone else getting Sigma 6 vibes with the crate kind of scenario? I am. If you don't know, the old school Sigma 6 figures, the big ones, they originally, the first kind of few waves came in a packaging that had it was a mixture of, like, you know, card, bit of plastic, you know, kind of sort of like window, and then a top and a bottom, which were effectively 2 crate pieces, halves plastic. So when you kind of like open the figure and everything, you could put everything back in with foam as well, with foam little inserts back in the crate, so you can kind of keep everything together. It was so good. So I absolutely loved that about Sigma 6. So I'm kind of feeling this vibe with these crates. Very Sigma 6y, Sigma sexy, as you might say. Don't sneeze when you open it. I won't, because yeah, sawdust everywhere and weapons. Again, some nice shots of that kind of just inside the hangar maneuver. Sigma 6 had the foam inserts for the weapons to stay in too. Looked like everyone's was a Mars weapons dealer. Yes, exactly, Neo Blue Max. I loved that. I really loved Sigma 6 packaging. I loved it so much because it meant that you didn't have to like you could throw some of it away if you wanted to save some space, but your figures were like nice and carefully kind of, you know, saved, and all the gear they come with could all fit in. I loved it. I loved it so much. I'm going to end up getting one just for the weapons crate, says Keegan. I probably up there. Well, obviously I like the figures, but yeah, I think the crate, weirdly enough, that box, that really just pretty standard issue box is oddly compelling. How deep will the crate actually be? Asks Medic. I think we can kind of guess there. So that's the height of it, right? But like where there's 2 stacked on top of each other there. So the figure is taller than that crate, basically, it looks like. But also it could be that is the top part of the crate, and the bottom part of the crate that it connects to has been removed so they can stack on top of each other. Not quite sure. Let's have a look at another image just to kind of get an idea. Hang on. No, it looks like the full crate size there. So the figure standing next to it, you can see that's exactly the depth of that particular crate by the looks of things. Sorry, lots of comments coming in. I need to make tunnel rat poking out the lid. That's hilarious. It's me. Wonder if the Rattler ordnance will fit inside. I don't know actually, Neo Blue, but it's like, for me, I'm happy with the stand for the Rattler because a lot of that stuff just fits in there nicely out of the way. Destro Design says, Chris, you're not alone. I am so taken by the crate as well. Michelle says, starting to wonder if the belts actually have a place to connect to on top of the crates for airdrop, now that we see the attempt to connect and drag them with a vehicle. Paul says, this thing will be modular with the defense perimeter, same connection point pieces. Yes. Someone just mentioned that already, I believe, Paul, but yes, that's been stated. Let's just scroll through. There you go. There's another shot of the crate. So it's not like the tall as the figure, but it's a good, what, 4.5 inches? Maybe even close to 5. And then we have this sort of like them looking down into the little part of the crate, which is kind of fun as well, with all the weapons in the top. Like that a lot. This toy line is bonkers. I love it, says Hits Me. Agreed. Almost looks like the side opens there too. Let's have another look at some other promo images to see if we get any other sort of details here. Not in that one. Here he is again. Look, trying to hook this up to the back of a Stinger. I don't understand this. Can somebody explain this to me, please? Hella Geek, we are expecting it to be Pulse exclusive. We don't know yet if it is. We do not know the price, Josh B, sorry. No. So yeah, that we'll find all of that out, I believe, April the 1st. Full April Fools, it's not really happening. Could you imagine? So no, I haven't said the price already. I was late to the street. No, I've done that one. I get it now. This ground crew is supplying the Saw Viper with his weapon, thereby making them co-conspirators in the murder of Doc and several other Joes, says St. Brutus. Indeed. In regards to the crate, can you put your weed in it? I guess so, if you want. I don't do that sort of thing. I'm very straight edge myself, but I would be putting things like squashies in there, or jelly babies. I'm a fan of jelly babies. And for those that are going, what? They're sweets or candy from the United Kingdom, before you get any weird ideas. Jelly babies are amazing. Also, fruit pastels. I'm a big fan of fruit pastels. They're incredible. So I'll be filling mine up with candy, basically. And I'm not talking about Bongo the Balloon Bear. He's effing with the Stinger now. Yeah, he really is. He really is, Paul. Maybe winching it onto the Stinger. Well, the problem is that's the back of the Stinger. Winch is at the front. And he's literally just connecting random part. I don't know. It doesn't make any sense to me. But it's still fun. I like it a lot. Here they are looking at those weapons again. What can we see around here? No, that looks like the top of the whole thing. So it's not like the bottom piece kind of thing. That is the top opened up, which is kind of cool. I wonder if does it look like that inside? Or no, it doesn't. That can't be. I thought that was like a fake interior that just like sat inside. But I'm sure it's probably going to be empty, right? It must be. The straps are puzzling. This crate would make more sense inside a cargo plane with that kind of buckle and strap system. Yes, agreed. Hella geek. Frozen fudgies, says Paul. Yes, that's what we need in there. Andrew says stash box. Effectively, that covers all things, doesn't it? I'm stashing my candy in there. Thank you, Dan Stars. Good sweet choices. I appreciate that. Operation Dank Drop. Maybe it's got wheels and he's hooking it up to tow. Could you imagine, Justin? Like tiny little wheels and that staying upright the entire time. Gonna put all my extra heads in the crate and get a sticker that says property of Hannibal Lecter, says Toy Bounty Hunter. Anyway, Hunter says G.I. Joe classified C5 Galaxy confirmed. Could you imagine the size of that thing? 3D printers could really add to this. A tractor with a trailer to haul Rattler missiles or move the crate, says Johnny. I agree. That would be really cool. That is the Saw Viper backpack, Mr. Mad Gus. It is. That comes with the set. Paul says Fatal Fluffies in those crates before they're loaded onto the space station. Hell yes. Fatal Fluffies confirmed. We need these crates with Mars and Iron Grenadiers logos on them. Well, I think you're going to be probably seeing that, Crimson Cobra Commander. I think we'll get these again for sure. Anyway, here they are again running around, scared, with weapons. Looks like be an emergency kicking off on the airfield. I'd be mad if my guns were that dirty, says Diana. Yes, indeed. Covered in sawdust. Pre-tool for Tomahawk crate, says Chris G. That would be dreamland. I would literally cry if we got an Eagle Hawk Tomahawk situation in like Haslab. Oh, I would cry. It'd be so good. I'm gonna fill that crate full of world's smallest toys, mini Sergeant Slaughter and mini Pops, etc. Andrew Davis. I like that idea. Including all of like the world's smallest kind of line would be fun in that, because then you open it up and it looks like a toy chest. I like it. I keep saying we need a jack cart for Rattler ordnance, says Huntress. Yes, a little kind of forklift would be cool. Or like a little handheld, one of those like sort of jacks basically. For sure getting them for Joe, says Paul. I agree. I think the crate we'll see again. I do think we'll see the crate again. Cobra parachute would have been a chef's kiss to finish off the set. Agreed, Joe. In-universe storage for Stan. Maintain your weapons, Cobra, says Huntress. Yes. These crates are perfect for sling load ops, says Droz. Agreed. You think we could see Joe version of this set? Yes, 100% Crimson. Sorry, that's funny. The 420 Rattler team, says 610 Yojo Daddy. Paint it green and let Zanya drag it around on the chameleon. Yeah, with the chameleon, says Aaron. Yes, indeed. They just toss weapons in there in sawdust. Most likely the reason they're attaching it to the stinger. It's going to be a fail. Yeah. Anyway, brilliant stuff. Loads of cool, beautiful images. This is a good one as well, with the kind of bombing happening in the distance. And them sort of like running out to the fields to obviously, I don't know, like try and help. That's why one of them's picked up the Saw Viper machine gun at least. But yeah, it's funny to me that one of them is like, this heavy weapons ground crew, and then the other one's job is just putting the straps on stingers, and ruining everyone's days. I love it. They are fun images, Paul, indeed. And here they are again, showing off that Saw Viper weapon as well. Lovely stuff. He's just disregarded his wands at this stage. Wands, sorry, can't really be dealing with them right now. Going to go for the weapons. They're going to go for the shooty weapons instead. And that is it for the promo images. Very nice indeed. Yeah, so what do we know? We know that this is Tara, that HER Tara, her Tara listing. Her HER stands for Herculoids, basically, if you weren't aware. That's the theme currently for these particular listings. So, yeah. Sorry, can't multitask. So, what do we know? We're assuming Pulse exclusive, but I haven't confirmed that on the listing just yet. And it might not be Pulse exclusive, but I would assume it probably is. And it looks like, best I can tell, an April the 1st drop, according to the pre-sale information that was coming out from overseas. So, again, not fully confirmed yet, but this is the information we're currently working with. And if anything changes, we'll let you know. But, I'm sure the official channels will also let us know when this is actually going up. I would expect to see an official announcement for this particular set very soon, either this week or next week, with that sort of like eye on dropping the actual pre-order in April. That's my assumption. That's my understanding of the scenario. But at least we know who that listing is, because obviously it did hit port very recently. And in actual fact, we've heard more has hit port recently. So the listing Her Aigu, which is on there down the on the right hand side, and if you see where Xandor is, aka Zanya with the chameleon, apparently, according to shipping data, Zanya has hit port 6 times, 6 or 7. I didn't mean to say that, but that's happened now. It's either 6 or it is 7. I'm sorry. It just is. I can't remember. But she's hit port a few times now, including today. So Zanya and the Chameleon, a lot, like quite a few of them have been coming into a US port, as well as a retro assortment. Now, I haven't been able to ascertain whether it's Crimson Guard, Crazy Legs, and Zap, or if it's the next wave that features Wild Bill. It could very well be that it could be either, to be fair, because obviously we haven't seen Crazy Legs and Zap fully fulfilled yet in most places. So I wouldn't surprise me if it's that first retro wave that's hitting port, with the next wave expected obviously later after it's been revealed and what have you, and so on and so forth. And again, I imagine retro reveals either probably in Yojo June, but you can never know, might happen in like it prior to that. Anyway, so a retro assortment has hit port. Zanya has hit port, and that her Aigu listing has hit port as well today. We can't reveal what her Aigu is yet, but I'm sure that's going to be one that's probably going to be announced and revealed and what have you fairly soonish. And when it is, we'll unlock the listing and go from there. Yeah, so that's a bit of news for you guys in terms of the shipping kind of information. And yeah, and Tara, of course, we know hit port like a few weeks ago, a week and a bit ago, something like that. It was very recent though. Rusty says, I haven't said it yet, but thank you for the videos and constant updates. You're welcome, Rusty. If it was up to me, I would just be on stream the whole time. I'd be like 24 hours ESPN style, but for G.I. Joe. G.I. Joe ESPN, 24 hours a day. I would never sleep, ever. It would only be on for like 3-4 days, and then I'd probably die. Hey, Chris, any guesses on Haslab, has asked Crimson. No. Guesses? Yeah. Educated ones or informational sort of, actual info? Nada. But like in terms of guessing, there's only so many that I think it could probably be for Cobra. If it does go and if it does happen this year, which I'm sure it will. I haven't heard any rumblings about them not doing a Haslab this year. That would, I don't think that's the case. So assuming that is actually happening, and I fully assume that it will, you're only really left with like the Moray and the Aspid, and that's pretty much it for me for that sort of size. But then, like, yeah, Night Raven as well. Again, I don't think the Night Raven's off the table. I really don't. I think if the Sky Striker is on there, then the Night Raven is too. Excuse me. My bad. But yeah, I would probably say either the Moray or now that we've been talking about the Aspid, I just want an Aspid. But no, I think the Moray is probably the most likely for me. But we don't know. We've got no clue. There's been no kind of like hints or kind of news that has slipped out in regards to that. So yeah, nothing really. But again, my sort of guess, based on not having much more to sort of do in that sort of realm, would probably be a Moray. Wolf is not a bad shout, actually, Joe, because that could be chonky and massive when you consider the amount of troops, the front and back kind of seating sections. It wouldn't be as long as a Snowcat though, and I think a lot of people had issues with the Snowcat being a Haslab. So I think you could probably make a Wolf in a sort of like mid-range, sort of not quite Haslab, but sort of. I still think that a Wolf would be a good size for like a made to order situation. What's the chance of them going from Haslab to made to order, asks Rusty. I kind of think they'll probably do both, because until they're told otherwise by people buying this stuff, until people stop buying it, they'll just keep doing it. And I don't see them going, oh, we can't have a Haslab and a made to order every year. If they're selling both of them in the same year and having no issues doing so, then they're gonna do the same again. So I don't see any sort of like taking the foot off the gas pedal from that perspective. I think Hasbro got this kind of knack of doing stuff and pushing it and pushing it and pushing it until it can't be pushed anymore. So I think if they're seeing return from it, then it keeps happening, and it will keep happening, whether we have space or the means to do so or not. It'll keep happening until it can't be done anymore. One of those things will have to break, of course, at some point. Um, one of those things will feed into the other, basically. Still don't want a Thunder Machine Haslab. That should be retail or made to order. I agree. My money is that Nox Cars. Oh, the Thunder Machine. Yeah, well, Mr. Mad Gus, with that one, yeah, I mean, I could see them doing it, but they'd probably have to. I mean, it would be the vehicle would be one aspect of the Haslab, and then they'd probably fill it with a ton of other stuff just to sort of make it a little bit more substantial. And then the price wouldn't be as high, would it? I don't think you'd be looking at the same sort of price. Well, then they're going to say that, but the prices have just ramped up and they're not going to go down all of a sudden, are they? But you never know. They might do like a cheaper Haslab, though. Who knows? Who knows? Maybe that's a way around it. Maybe they do a cheaper Haslab for like something that is smaller, like a Thunder Machine, but it's cheaper. And therefore, maybe that would be cool for people if they're getting loads of cool stuff with it. Um, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I think they're just going to keep doing it until they can't do it any longer. I think that's how it really rolls, isn't it? If they're printing money doing a Haslab, then there's nothing telling them you probably shouldn't. They got feedback from the Snowcat, didn't they, in terms of everyone saying that they wanted that as a retail sort of vehicle and not as as a Haslab. And I think that was sort of like communicated a little bit, but it still hit all the tiers, guys. Like at the end, it wasn't like I wasn't like sleeping very well every night, but you know what I mean. It wasn't like I wasn't up all night thinking about, oh, are they going to make it? Oh, was I actually? If I cast my mind back, was I a little bit concerned? Actually, no. I was quite confident it would hit all the tiers, but we'd be right at the last minute, and it did it not comfortably, but comfortably better than I expected it to. When we were in that time period, Paul had no concern at all, and I can attest to that because you kept saying it in the comments. It will happen. Don't worry about it. No problem. Did I just see Mark Seddon in the comments giving it the big one? Is Wolf any smaller than a Snowcat? Not really, question mark. It's not as long, right? But it is probably about the same width, and it would probably be taller, I would say. Maybe even wider, says Paul. Yeah, so wider. But yeah, like if you're talking, if you melted them both down, you'd probably have the same amount of plastic. So yeah, about the same. But like I said, people had concerns about the Snowcat being a Haslab, and also the Wolf, as cool as it is, I don't think it's like got the iconic status to be in a Haslab conversation when you've got other things that probably would be more iconic to do first. And when it comes to doing things first in the classified series, Haslab, it's quite important for Haslab to do something that everyone wants first before you start doing crazier stuff, because of the time between each sort of release. Whereas in a wave of figures, a line plan at one end or the other, you can probably get a couple of figures that you were waiting for. Whereas with a Haslab, you might have to wait for a GI Joe one every like couple of years. So yeah, I would suggest that they probably stick to doing the obvious stuff first, and then go from there. Basically, Stun would be cool, but I think that could easily be done at a smaller scale, or at least not a Haslab. But again, I say not a Haslab, but I think I say not a Haslab in a case of it being a specific monetary amount, whereas you can do a Haslab and have a much cheaper price point. So they could do a Haslab for a stun or a thunder machine. They just have to make the price of it make sense. Like, I was like really impressed with how they did the hiss tank. I thought the cost of that was really good. The price of that was really good, especially at the time. Dragonfly, the fact they brought it down for the Dragonfly, I was amazed at that. That was a really good price for a Haslab. And so I thought, if they were going to do like a thunder machine or something else like that, where you don't need a flight stand, you don't need you don't like need a lot of other extra stuff with a thunder machine, but obviously a lot more tiers. You could do it at a cheaper price point, and I don't see that being a problem. Like, if they did a Haslab at a cheaper price point, I'm cool with that. Totally cool with that. But it has to be a cheaper price point. Otherwise, you've like, there's not. What's the point? If it's going to be more than, if it's going to be the same price as like your Snowcat or your friggin' Rattler or whatever, then what's the point? It needs to kind of like be conveyed in that price point for me. A whale would be insane. Now that would be more of a price point, but I'd be up for that. I don't think it's off the table. I think a whale Haslab could be one of those things they do way in the future, where it's like, okay, we're going to do something ridiculous this year, and maybe that's kind of also reflective of the line plan as a whole. I don't know. The stun holds 11 characters and bigger than original hiss, says Crimson Cobra Commander. It's a chunky beast, don't get me wrong. They definitely made the hiss bigger than its original kind of version. But they've done the same with the Snowcat. I would say the Dragonfly is probably at scale. It might actually be a bit smaller than if you scaled up an actual Dragonfly. But I haven't done the math really on that one. But yeah, definitely if you scaled up a hiss tank, it would that the one that we got was way bigger than just a scaled up original hiss. In the same can be said about the Snowcat as well. Tactical battle platform would be a good cap for Haslab. Huntress, you are speaking my language. The tactical battle platform is my favorite thing of G.I. Joe. I love it. I say that a lot, don't I? Tomahawk Eaglehawk, tactical battle platform, Ore Striker Dragonfly. Is that it? That might be my pinnacle of all my favorite G.I. Joe things, vehicles wise and playset wise. The HQ is pretty cool as well, but I sort of I'm in love with the dream of an HQ, the kind of like Sunbow HQ. My dream is that sort of HQ. I'd love something that is like that. The mobile command center as well, I love that so much. And the general, weirdly enough, and the Havoc's pretty cool too. Yeah. Well, maybe I just like all of it. Maybe all of it's my favorite, including Armadillo, the character, not the vehicle, and classified version 1 Falcon. Feel drunk. I don't drink, so how did that happen? I know the HQ will never make the Haslab cut. I'm kind of thinking that, but what I mean is my dream things of GI Joe, my favorite things in GI Joe. But yes, I think tactical battle platform would be incredible. I would be cool with, and I know like not everyone's like a big 118 fan as well as a 6-inch fan. Like we have a lot of Joe fans that grew up with the 4-inch and stuff, but I've definitely seen a lot of more kind of classified focus on the channel in the comments and what have you, which is totally cool. But I will just say that I would love to have an upgraded tactical battle platform for 3 3/4, 4-inch figures. And of course, we have got like Super 7 doing, we've got Higher Toys doing 4-inch, we've got Super 7 doing 3 3/4. I'd love a 1/18 scale updated tactical battle platform. Here is my pitch. So it would be on taller legs that would be extendable, and it would have multiple levels. Now, as you extended the legs, the top level would rise and leave the lower level like down. So the lower level kind of stays there, and the lower level is sort of like a little port underneath for a shark or a submarine of some description to kind of dock, so you can get out, and there'd be a platform underneath, and it would go up the stairs to the main top part of the tactical battle platform. And then obviously when you're up the top, you have all of the bells and whistles, and the lower levels, as well as having that sort of like little dock area, which would effectively be like, like if you imagine the back where the helipad is, the back where the legs extend, right, of the tactical battle platform against the water, it would just have like a little port sticking up above the water, like a little indentation, and then a little kind of walkways and everything, maybe even like a little sleeping section as well for like little bunk area. um I don't know. I think I'd love that. I think that'd be so cool. And then, like the above level, you could really go to town with it. You could put a roof on the computer room, which is sort of necessary, but you could do that. You could have like lights all over the place, because this would be a Haslab, in my opinion, as well. A much bigger helipad for obviously your dragonflies and all that kind of stuff as well. The little bridge could extend out and be even further away, so you could have it further out into the water, or you could just have the bridge fold up and stay in the actual tactical battle platform storage, like stowed up. And then just like loads of different port points where you could have, like, you could walk down to the side to the water's level, where you could get on to boats and all that other stuff as well. I just think it'd be so dope. And again, like just a few little like extra bits and touches here and there, more weapons set stations, that little section at the back, but with a proper armory. So you've got that little back corner where you've got the little rifles that go in the little kind of armory, weapons rack sort of thing. You can have like a full-on armory in there, maybe even underneath. You could just transfer the armory to underneath, and it would just be so cool. So obviously the extension to bring up the top level would be big enough so you could kind of get in and actually enjoy yourself underneath. Kitty said. I don't know. I'd be so down for something like that. And yeah, one of my favorite ever missions in Call of Duty, it's a bit random, isn't it, was the one where you start off in the sub, and they kind of the doors open and you come out of the sub, and you're on those little water vehicles, and you're hossing around in the water, and you're like sharks swimming around, which is quite unnerving, but cool. And as you start to get closer to the mission objective, you see that it's an oil rig, and you have to like swim up to the bottom of this, kind of like the entrance to this oil rig at the bottom, and you have to sort of like take that guy out, and then you have to like stealthily approach going up the stairs to that oil rig. That was one of my favorite missions of all time in Call of Duty. I thought that was so freaking amazing, and I want that in a GI Joe sort of computer game. And I want I like I said, a tactical battle platform would be kind of cool to kind of do some, maybe eels coming in, eels up inside you, some hydro vipers sneaking in. Oh, it'd be so dope. Anyway, yeah, that's my idea for an updated 1/18th scale tactical battle platform. And I've not been looking at any comments, so I'm just completely ignoring you guys. Sorry. I'm so sorry. I've missed so many comments. I was really talking for a long time then, wasn't I? Tactical battle platform would be a good cap for Haslab, says Huntress. Thank you. Yes. I'm hoping for a moray for a Haslab. Tier 1 female Hydro Viper. Oh, what? Scott? That's epic. Tier 2 Cobra night landing. That could probably... Well, like, I don't see the night landing as the same as the bivouac, if you get my meaning. I feel like the night landing is a bit more substantial and probably would be necessary to be done as a separate item. So I think I like the thought process. It's very cool, and a scuba version of Firefly, genius. But I feel like a night landing would be too much for a moray Haslab. It would really put the cost would go high. Whereas the bivouac is a lot of little extra accessories and a lot of negative space poles and a bit of like, the sort of like soft good. Whereas the night landing would be quite a substantial vehicle with a lot going on with it. But that's just my 2 cents. Like, tooling something like that would be more significant and costly than a bivouac, in my opinion. In my opinion. I would say, like, fairly knowledgeable about that particular tooling scenario, but again, you may disagree, and that's totally fine. If they are smart, the Moray and Whale are the most wanted vehicles, says Crimson. Yep. I just don't think the Thunder Machine needs to be a Haslab, even at a cheaper price point. It's not like it was full of tech or needs to be lit up, says Lightfoot. Hashtag Haslab killer whale. Totally a good point. Good point. Even if you bring the price point down, it's still going to be more than it might have been at retail, is also, I think, what you're getting at there as well, which is a totally valid point to have. The battle platform would be effing coffee table scale, says Huntress. For a 112, yeah, it'd be huge. It'd be massive. Havoc, Justin, that would be cool. They are taking so blasted long to make the Cobra Fang, says Maximilian. I have to agree with that. How have we not had a Fang? I feel like that's sort of like, well, maybe they haven't had a Fang. Well, I don't think the Fans Hobby one has taken any. I don't think the Fans Hobby version of that sort of Fang has denied them from doing a Fang. That is a weird one for me, how they haven't done that yet. Havoc with undersized wheels to annoy Chris. Thanks, Chris G. I would like the missile command center, just not in cardboard, says White. In steel. That's how I want it, in steel. Slay says, what makes the Vamp a retail offering versus the Thunder Machine is the Vamp has repaint reuses where the Thunder Machine doesn't. Another good point. Jamie Lynn says they dabbled with TH fortifications, but I'd really love some modular playsets to form an HQ. Same. I like the modular fortifications are cool, but I want some full on diorama building stuff now. I want, like, I want what they did with the Star Wars vintage collection, where it's like, here we get like a hallway, and I want that stuff. I want, like, really good diorama pieces that we can really kind of go to town with the figures. We need a Fang and then can use these ground crew with it, says Marneus. Indeed. I need an Armadillo mini tank and classified. Damn it, says Huntress. Same. An Armadillo would be an easy one. Well, it would be a good one for them to do. 1/4 of a Cobra Terradrome, buy 4 to get a full dome. Rusty, even a quarter of a Terradrome would be ridiculous. I'm here for you. I don't think there are many people that could afford 4 of them. Everyone would be doing it though, wouldn't they? They'd all be trying to get the full one, which would cost about 1 trillion fortunes. HQ would be easy. It's a lot of panels. Well, yeah, but I think for me, it's more about the detail and the interior. I don't mean just do what the HQ was back then, do that in classified. I mean, like, do a proper sort of, like, room to room Hawk's office, gym, what do you call it? Like rifle range, like, the martial a gym, same sort of thing, but like where the gym is, you'd have like a martial arts mat where they can, like, do like close quarters combat training and all that kind of jazz. I'd want them to do all this kind of stuff and have, like, things like a little obstacle course that could be set up outside, and I think it would be amazing. But yeah, we're talking like huge and ridiculous and probably would never happen. T-Blade said, or T-Blade says, lol, my favorite things of G.I. Joe is G.I. Joe. I want a pack of like 4 original armadillos, says Huntress. That'd be funny. Now you're talking 1/18 scale, might as well go all the way. Flag and Sunbow HQ, says Stillwind. Yeah, I think, do you know what? I don't think a flag's going to happen at either scale, but I've heard on the grapevine that a certain CEO loves the flag and wants a flag legitimately in the line. And I say in the grapevine, he said it in that interview, but I believe that is his actual feelings on the matter. And even though we're not the biggest fans of the CEO, if they were to do a flag, I don't even know how I don't even know how that would even work. Even at that 1/18th scale, it would have to be, it would be mental. I think a Sunbow HQ would be great though. I sort of feel though all of the sort of 1/18th stuff is not really in that Hasbro just not touching that anymore. We haven't had a Transformers collaborative for a while. That whole Mobat Prime was in development as far as we know with Hawk, but I don't know why that's gone quiet. I assume they've decided against it. But again, don't know the full kind of like story on that one. It just has not seen the light of day since. But Super 7 obviously are doing that sort of stuff, and I wonder if at some point they may dabble in crowdfunding with it again, because obviously they didn't have a great one with, I mean, as cool as that was, that wonderful mothership, you know, it failed in terms of the crowdfunding aspect of it, which again is a real shame, because I think it would have been freaking cool to see people, you know, enjoying that with their 1/18 figures. But I think, you know, they could probably dabble in that again on sort of like smaller scales, you know. But it's going to be difficult, I think, to see any of these things. Sorry, I've missed a lot of comments. I'm not going to be able to get to all of them. I'm going to move on a little bit. We're going to have a quick message from our sponsor, and then I'll be right back to talk a few other details. Yes, make sure you order your deluxe treasury editions of the Battle Action Force comics today from totaltoybooks.com in the UK and Europe, skeletron.com in the US, and Amazon elsewhere. Links in the description as well of this video, or wherever it's posted on Facebook or on wherever, YouTube. You'll find the links for those things. Now, name-only reveals that we have currently are the official ones: Iceberg, Twiceberg, and Thriceberg. No, Deep Six and Chabang. So they're the current name-only reveals. Will we have more to talk about soon? Probably. If we're getting, like, you know, stuff flooding in, pre-orders are going to be going up in the next couple of months, I imagine. We've got a few different sets that are going to be happening. We've obviously got the Walmart situation on the 19th. And yeah, so, you know, there's going to be stuff happening. Will we get some name-only reveals? Maybe. Looking forward to any new information before Yojo June. I think, like, again, I think there's going to be a lot of pre-orders before Yojo June, because we've been told that, haven't we? But I'd like to at least have some sort of communication with the team before Yojo June. Trying to get an interview sorted out is like trying to herd cats. It's like trying to herd cats, and not just little ones, like big cats who might be easier. They might just be chilling out and asleep or whatever, just like not going to move. But trying to get them in the same space is like impossible. So we'll get there. We'll get there, and it's going to happen sooner rather than later. Also, yeah, shout out to My Palatoy Story, the extended edition, says Squishy. They're at 60% currently on Kickstarter, so get in there and back that, please. I believe that's linked in the description as well, actually, as well. Stop saying as well. Oh, and next week we'll be talking to Brian Hickey and Bob Breakin, obviously the two behind that particular extended edition for the 60th anniversary of Action Man. Very excited to speak to them about that too. I haven't seen Bob in ages. Yes, herding lions, Huntress, is what it's like. Trying to herd battle cats, says Hits Me. Yes, same. Right. So that's the name-only reveals. We know that. Digital renders and revealed figures. Officially, guys, we'll be getting to the teasers and leaks in a short period of time. Currently, the Special Forces Legacy figure, which we're apparently told is in April as well. So expect that in April. Taurus and Red Dog, also probably in April. Snake Eyes with the Varmint and the Stealth Viper with Stealth Pod versus 2-pack will be in Yojo June. The Arctic 3-pack, consisting of the Arctic Steel Core, Saw Drift Viper, and Arctic Saw Viper, I'm not sure if they're going to be later in the year. Probably is a little bit later, maybe Yojo June, but probably a bit further along. Zanya with Chameleon is possibly this month as well. Did Taurus and Red Dog get pre-ordered yet? Not yet, Michael, no. But I believe that's going to be in April. I believe that's an April looking 2-pack. And then Prof Rockclaw is possibly this month as well. And the Night Creeper Dire is obviously on the 19th of March. Cool. Now, as well as those official reveals, we have the teasers and leaks section, which has grown into 3 things now. So we've got the Deep Six in the background of the Hydro Viper, which is fun, of course, linked to his name owner reveal as well. We have the USA 250th Duke, which is obviously was leaked on Hasbro Europe like last week. So that's one cheeky leak that's happened. And then the second cheeky leak has been this particular Tara 2-pack of Ramp Rats, which is kind of fun, and the crate, which we've been looking at today. So very exciting indeed. Keep it locked, I would say, on all of these socials, officials, and all of the other stuff, because there's going to be pre-order information dropping very soon. Okay, that's all I'm saying. So expect all of those kind of things to be happening at some point in the near future. All right, cool. Wild Bill should be in the leak section. Yes, Boba Fett, he should, but I don't have. Oh, do you know what? I forgot why we have Wild Bill in the leak set. Why we should have him in there? It's because there's an actual figure out there. I agree. You're right. I'm adding that after this has happened. Thank you, Boba Fett. Yeah, just throw Wild Bill in here as well, and he should be first on this list because he was leaked Agamemnons ago. Good shout, Boba Fett. Thank you for looking out for me, making more work for me. I will add that to this particular group for sure. You're right, though. Absolutely right. I just, I slip up every now and again, like every week, actually. Michael Taylor says that Deep Six is a combo of classic and 2003 version. Yeah, I think the image we're looking at is obviously not the best. I would also probably say that we'll probably get a couple of different options of like looks as well with him, at least on the old headgear. So you'll probably have like your standard and something cool as well. So we'll have to see on that one, won't we? How am I going to say I needed a Cobra crate to my wife? Asks Hits Me UK. You just be truthful and honest about why you want it. Yet another example of Chris being crap. It's so true. Brilliant. Anyway, that is it for today's news burst, guys. Thank you for joining me to chat about the classified Ramp Rats. It's always fun, even though like leaks, I would prefer it if things were, brand new and were revealed when they were supposed to be revealed, all that kind of good stuff. But I'm not going to lie, I get excited when a leak happens. Of course I do. Not in the sort of underpants area, but I get excited for images being leaked in regards to toys and classified especially. So it's really nice and exciting to be able to kind of chat through some actually really nice quality pictures of the figures rather than, in the first kind of leak phase. I almost did an episode tonight where this did not look like this until those images came through. I was using that one image, that really blurry image, on all 3 panels, and it looked hilarious. It looked like if you were looking at it, you'd be like, do I need to like go to the eye doctor? That's how bad it was. So I'm kind of glad that they that the images kind of snuck out a little bit earlier. Yeah, it was a Motorola Razr photo from 2005, Paul. Indeed. And again, big shout out to Bees Battlegrounds, Bretley Brett, and bear with me 2 seconds. I need to shout out the people that were sending me images as well. I apologize, guys. A lot's happened tonight, as in, you know, in the G.I. Joe sphere. Shout out to anytime now. Christian Blandhoel or Blandel. I think it's Christian Blandel. So shout out to Christian as well for sending me that first image of the sort of white background, nice clear loadout gear and all that stuff. Shout out to Darren Marshall for a bunch of the other images as well. And someone else sent me a link for the post that had all the images on it as well. And I've completely forgotten who sent that to me. My apologies. Again, very busy with all this stuff. It was... No, can't remember. My bad. Shout out to everyone, though. Hope you all have a wonderful evening. And I will see you on the next one. What is the next one? We were supposed to do a recording, Pat, Adam and myself today, an O-Ring special, but we had to push that to next week because of my day just got messed up. So apologies, that wasn't recorded today, but we've got it ready for next week. I've also got, like I said, I'm talking to Bob and Brian. Also got the Skeletron crew coming on. Ben and Mark will be joining me to talk about some cool stuff. So that'll be great. That's next week as well. And yeah, so lots of still cool stuff coming. And of course, trying to herd those Lenny, Tony, and BMAC lions in the same room, trying to get that sorted as well. But yeah, we've got lots in the works, is all I'll say on that one. Anyway, have a wonderful rest of your evening. I'll see you on the next one, whatever that may be. Stay fresh, cheese bags. And after 3, you know what to do. 1, 2, 3. Full force. See ya. That's it for this installment of the Full Force News Burst. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. See you next time, and as always, full force. Make sure you get involved with the discussion by liking, sharing, and commenting on these videos. And as always, you can keep up with the show after listening by following on all of our social platforms, links in the description. And if you would like to contact the show, you can message us on any of those platforms with feedback or questions. We also have a Patreon page, so if you want to show your support for the show, see your name up in lights on these videos, or enjoy exclusive bonus content, then check out patreon.com/The Full Force Podcast, or click the link on any of the posts this podcast appears in. Full Force.